Let's check this guy out. 3 ways people are becoming very strange. He's got almost a million views in 4 days. So this is really striking a nerve. And I like to bring stuff to you guys that's, what's going on besides dating? What have you noticed? And this is kind of related, really. Most people have noticed something's different. So there's a different flavor up in the air. What is it? Let's break it down a little. Let's see what he's got to say.
There's some things that I'm seeing in the public square that I think is a little strange, and it's ever increasing. I want to talk about it in this video, and I'm curious to see if you have noticed the same thing. Stick around. I'm a quiet and peaceful person. I keep to my own for the most part. I wouldn't consider myself a hermit, but I do like to get back home to the open air, the open space. I like to be where it's quiet. I'm not one of those guys that says I can't stand people. My heart is not hardened like that. I love people. I think people are quite difficult. I'm not running from people. I just like being where it's quiet. Man, if I can be in an environment where, I'm having a good time with people, that's a wonderful thing. But there are some things that seem to be reoccurring with people when I go out in public. Strange things, strange behaviors. What I'm hoping to accomplish with this video is to kind of put a mirror in front of you. And if you find yourself falling into these things, maybe this is an opportunity.
I like people too. And after what happened, what was it, 6 years ago? With the sickness that was going around, I like I don't like to be out and without people so as much as I used to. I used to, yeah, I could live in the woods, or I could, get in a house and live in isolation somewhere. That'd be fun as long as I have nature and I like all that kind of stuff. But after that happened, I it changed me because I just moved to Florida from Oklahoma, and I didn't know anyone here, and that happened, and no one came out of their apartments, and I was used to being social. I was used to having when I wanted to be with people. And when that happened, I didn't know anybody, and I just moved here, and that went on for 2 years plus, and it was just me and my dog. That was it. And after that, I think I appreciated people more. If the same thing happened to you, let us know in the comments. But I living out in the woods didn't seem so appealing to me anymore after that kind of isolation. So I, even if people aren't friendly or ignoring me or are strange, I still like to have someone walking around. I live in a more busy area here in Florida. I like it.
To step back and say, you know what, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like the crowd. One thing I've noticed is that people are in a frenzy and they're in a hurry like I have never seen before. There's this chaos with people now.
We're running home to eat cheese. No, yeah, I think he's right about that. People are going, let me get this done, go here, go home, so they can scroll on their phone. I know what they're doing. People are busy, gotta get it done. I don't have time to cook. I don't have time to do this. Yeah, you do. Look, check, scroll up that screen time on your phone and see how much time you're wasting on that thing. That's the truth. No one wants to really admit it. Like, hey, you want to do something? Well, yeah, let's check. Let's touch base later. You want to touch base later? How about making some plans? 1985 style. Hey, you want to do something? Yeah, all right. See you there. No, I gotta check, and I gotta. It's like they're not gonna show up. They're not gonna do it. And you can't just come out and say, "Look, you're just scrolling on your phone. You're just addicted to your phone. Come hang out. We can talk for more than 1 minute and 10 seconds."
I find myself doing things at times when I believe the traffic will be less, where the crowds will be smaller in the grocery stores and things like that.
I was out at a friend's for Thanksgiving yesterday, and we sat around the table, 6 of us, 7 of us, and talked without our phones, and just talked and talked. And for 3 hours. It was fantastic. It was really fantastic. So nice. And these people had good personalities and they were eloquent and they could talk. And it's like, oh gosh. In the 80s and 90s, this used to be every day, every other day, on the weekends, all the time. You would hang out with people and actually talk. And they weren't on their phone going, "Oh, yeah, getting ready to go someplace else, and I'll meet you here, and we'll make plans for there." And then when you're there, you're making plans to see other people then and pick you up then. And here, text me. Oh, I'm almost there. I'm back there. I'm gonna be there in a couple of minutes. All this useless nonsense, and you never ever have any quality, and no one wants to be together anymore. Because it's like, oh, I can't stand people videos, and people are, what happened to people? Yeah, that's what happens to people. So I was out at Thanksgiving, and you feel good in your body. People are depressed. Like, yeah, get off your phone. Try to find some people and convince them to hang out and talk with you, not just on Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's just life is just so much better when you're, oh, they're different than me. Great. I don't want to hang out with me. I had enough of me. I'm okay, but I had enough of me.
That just because of the energy that people bring to the table. I was riding around on some back roads the other day, just cruising with my windows down in my truck, listening to the radio, relaxing, having a good time. I
Nice.
was heading over to a cookout. And this guy's just behind me, just tailgating me, and instead of allowing him to get under my skin and get my nerves all worked up, you know what I did? I just pulled over at the next place where I could and just let him go around me. And I got back to my cruise and I got back to enjoying myself. We've got
He's going to say, is this a symptom of society? But people were tailgating everybody 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago. There's always someone like that. I remember, I'll never forget this one old lady was behind me. I was at a red light and I could see her. I crushed over her steering wheel and the light turned green. And the second the light turned green, she was, on her horn. And I was with a friend in the car. And we both looked in the mirrors and saw this 85-year-old lady. And she was ticked off, and she was like, "I'm not waiting for you." And she was about to plow over my car, but that's not, okay, that stuff happens, but that's not a symptom of present day society. That's always been. And he did a smart thing. I've done that too. When someone's tailgating you, you're just like, oh, this guy, is it worth it? Is it worth getting in a fight and going to jail over something like this? No, you pull in, take a turn, let them go by, come back around. Oh, it took another minute of my life. No big deal.
to be careful not to let the frenzy that people are operating in to attach itself to us. We have to protect our own peace and make sure that we're not acting like everybody else who seems to be caught up in some fire drill all the time. Lack of preparedness.
Yeah, he's kind of right. A lot of people are, oh, yeah, I gotta get home so I can be lonely. I don't have time to talk to you or meet with you because I gotta go home. And the phone is a lame addiction. I'm on it a lot, no doubt, but I make a concerted effort. Whenever I'm with people, I'm not on the phone. I'm with them because you got to wake up. I've said this before in other videos. These people who invented this phone and all these apps, they know what they're doing, and they're making money off of you and your unhappiness. And the more you're unhappy and not social and running home and being all busy so you can sit on your couch and look at your phone, they're making money and you're buying a bunch of junk you don't need. God, everybody in America, their houses we have these huge houses and they're full of stuff, like stuff. Just, I mean, look behind you. I don't have a lot of stuff. I could move in a weekend. I don't have a lot of stuff. I've made an effort. I just know you're tempted to buy stuff. You know, oh, there's a lot of cool stuff. And then you have a garage full of stuff and you've got storage spaces. Other countries don't have storage space, rent a storage space. And you know what people got in their storage? I see people move all the time, and I see because I this is an apartment complex, and you see people coming in and out, and the stuff they have, they're huge trucks, and they're loading them into like one bedroom apartments, and it's like throw that crud away. Right? Just throw it out. You don't need that stuff. You're being talked into buying all this stuff. And the phone, yeah. Oh yeah, look at it. It looks so good. And it's got great lighting. And look at those people. And they say it's really good. Let me get some of that stuff. And you're just full of stuff and lonely and trying to buy more stuff. And the people who make those apps, they know if you're lonely, you're not connecting with people, you hate men or you hate women or you hate people, and you're gonna buy more stuff because you're gonna feel unfulfilled. You're going to feel unhappy and you're going to need antidepressants or whatever. Yeah, and you're going to buy and buy and buy more and more stuff to try to fill that hole. Whereas if you just try to connect with people, I know it's not always easy, but there's people you can connect to. Call some of your old friends.
An organization from somebody else doesn't constitute an emergency for me. Being a proactive person is a badge of honor. Being able to step out from all of this chaos and atmosphere where people are running behind and everything's got to be done yesterday is a choice. I'm noticing that people are also becoming a lot less friendly, a lot less cordial. It's getting to the point to where if you smile at someone out in public or if you say, "Excuse me," people think that's weird. I know over the last 10 to
it's it's happened to me, but you gotta not focus on it. I say hello to people and they walk right by me, and like my old apartment complex, I would see someone for a year or two. I'm like, hey, how you doing today? And they walk right by. Sometimes 80% of people are wearing headphones. They're like, I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything with anybody. Or they're talking with someone else on their phone through their headphones. But I've had many times where people don't even say hello to you back or good morning. And then I'll say, good morning. Here I am on planet Earth. Join me here. But really, that's 2 out of 10. Those other 8 people are like, good morning. And, you talk to them and you have a nice quick little conversation. But I understand what he's saying. People are very wrapped up in their electronics and they're busy to do the next thing so they can get back to their electronics. I used to try to get other guys to go to a basketball game, like a pro basketball game, but it's so hard. I'm like, oh, let's go. They're playing tonight. We'll get some tickets. Oh, well, see. Okay, it's never gonna happen.
15 years, there's been a massive political divide in our country, and people have a lot more things to fight about, it seems. It didn't seem that way when I was young. It seems that way now.
It wasn't that way when you were young, buddy, because it wasn't that way when I was young either. We had this very simple thing. Don't talk about politics or religion. It's impolite to talk about politics or religion. And that went out the window, and now everybody hates each other. Yeah, we should. Yeah, people have their own opinions, and it's great. And it's it's this little part of life over here, but there's this huge other part of life. If you're just going to focus, oh, they're Republican, they're Democrat, they're this, they're liberal, they're not. You miss out all this great stuff that people really have to offer. People are cool. They got stuff to offer. So I don't. People start talking about that. I change the subject, or I get real busy doing other things. Like, really, just think about it. People get in these political conversations and arguments and they get all worked up. I saw a video the other day, a woman's like divorcing her husband because he voted a different party than her. And they're getting really riled up about all of this. And I just, really, it's exhausting. There's so much to life and you're just focusing on this thing and you're getting what does it really matter? People are getting in fights over this stuff and getting all verbose about it. And what are you really actually doing about it besides arguing and fighting with people? We all get to vote, once a year, and that's the activity. That's the thing you do. That's the natural progression of your thoughts and your beliefs. But all the other, you're not going to convince someone else, or you're just going to get in a fight and get all angry. I remember life before Fox News. Do you? Tell me in the comments if you remember that. I remember when it came out, and my parents started to watch that, and they completely changed. They really changed. They were these people that were very diverse and had a very diverse interests and things they talked about. And then it all got narrowed down into politics, and they disappeared. The people they were just disappeared. But really, what's all that blah, blah, blah and chitter chatter about? You vote once a year, go vote, and then life is beautiful and wonderful, and there's all these different things going on. But if you get and you're fighting, and I don't like those people, and they don't have the same beliefs as me, like, I'm a 1980s, 90s man. It's impolite to talk about that stuff with other people, and you're going to enjoy your life so much better when you don't. I know people are going to crucify me in the comments for that, but it's true. We don't have to fight so much. These people, these entertainment news shows, they're manipulating the crud out of you to sell some weird stuff for your hernia or whatever they're selling. They're getting you riled up because they know anything with anger keeps you coming back for more. It keeps you coming back for more, and they're just manipulating the crap out of everybody, and everyone's miserable. They don't care about you. They don't care about you. These entertainment news shows and the products, they don't care about you. And the food suppliers, they don't care about you. They're pumping it full of crud for you. You got to care about yourself. You got to wake up, take a step back, and go, hey, is this really making me happy? Is this really making me happy? That's what it comes down to. That should be your filter. Is this making me happy?
And I know all that stuff is going on, but I still don't think that's an excuse to not be decent or cordial. Someone may think, oh, they look like a conservative, I'm not going to be nice to them, vice versa. They look like a liberal, I'm not going to be nice to them. Listen, we don't have to be a jerk, and we don't have to walk around like we're mad all the time to have a good sense of situational awareness. If I'm walking past you and I hit you with one of these, that's just me showing you some respect and some acknowledgement. I'm moving on. I'm not trying to stand there and have a conversation. But people think any kind of connection nowadays is weird. People walk right past the grocery aisle. They walk right past people nowadays like they're not even there, which leads.
There's a thing I do and other guys do I have this trail. I live on a lake, and people exercise and go around the lake every day. And there are other guys they're in shape and they're running and they're, getting sun. We have our shirts off. We're going around. We give each other a nod, or we give each other, a fist or a thumbs up, because it's like a club now. We're not overweight. We're in the not overweight club. I live in my area of Florida. Wow, it's a lot like a lot of other areas in the country. People have put on a lot of weight and are struggling. It's great that they're out there, but it's like the self-discipline crew. We give each other a thumbs up. Yeah, there's not a lot of us, so woohoo! Keep going, brother.
Leads to my next point. We're becoming a society of zombies. There's been a lot of talk about the zombie apocalypse, for the last several years. And I can't help but believe that that's some kind of omen, some kind of metaphor, not for a real zombie apocalypse like Return of the Living Dead, but the way our society is actually becoming. People, especially in these bigger cities, just walk around like they're on some sort of assembly line, man. It's like everybody's just going in the same direction. They don't feel anything. They don't see anything. They're just programmed to do a few certain things. Much of this has a lot to do with the fact that people have a screen in their face all the time now. They're so used to being entertained by a screen that they have forgotten to actually flow and function in real life. I think
Yeah, people are entertaining. People are cool. They have interesting things about them. They really do. If you're going around thinking horrible thoughts about everybody, you never let that in. Or they're a liberal. Oh, I'm not gonna talk to that. You're gonna miss out. You're really gonna miss out.
I think people need to learn to put their phones down and go do real life menial things. Go do something boring. It will be amazing for you. Go have an experience that doesn't have to be shared on social media. I don't mind social media, but
You know what happened to me? My iPhone just black screen, screen of death, nothing there, and gone. And I never backed up to the cloud. And I had 3 years of photos on that phone. I was like, oh. And it was painful because I had some good memories there, and I wasn't going to get them back. It was like $2,000 to try to change the motherboard. And as time went on, I thought about it more and more. And here's the truth of it. I, once a year or once every 2 years, I'll get the iPhone and I'll download the photos and I'll put them on a hard drive, and then I put them in my file cabinet on this hard drive where I keep all my photos. Do I ever go back and look at those photos? So rare. And no, you know. And I thought about it, and I decided not to do it and not to get upset about it and to live life. And this is, it's really the impetus for me being more present, more here now. No, let me take a picture. Yeah, I've curbed that. I've cut way back on the picture taking, way, way back. And I'm just, you go to a concert, everybody's got their phone up, and you're like, oh gosh, this is terrible. And it's frustrating. And the band is like, oh God, please just, but what are we gonna do? I understand the urge. I've done that. Not the whole concert, just a little quick clip. And then I've realized maybe that I finally learned some things as a 58-year-old man. It doesn't matter, those photos. You're just not gonna look at them. And I'm gonna post them on Facebook and social media. Like, then you die one day, and that's what you did. I took a bunch of pictures and posted them to Facebook and social media, but I didn't talk to my friends. And at Thanksgiving, I was on my phone, and I didn't go to that basketball game. I didn't do this. I just took pictures and posted them. It's not a good life. So sometimes when bad things happen, you got to realize, how is this actually a gift? And so I changed, and maybe my life is a little better now. Maybe I'm more present, which would definitely be a good
it's
thing.
not always a real life depiction of how that person's life is going. It's a highlight reel for the most part. Nowadays, people will friend you on Facebook but not speak to you in public. We can refuse to be zombies. We can refuse to live our life like we're on some assembly line. We can be real people with real feelings and emotions, and we can care about others. We don't have to let our hearts grow cold just because of the lawlessness that's abounding in the world. Why does that darkness have to get on the inside of us and affect the way we live and the way we feel toward?
Don't let the darkness in. He's right. I like this guy. Don't let the darkness in. Be friendly. Even if people aren't friendly back, the majority of people are going to be friendly, and it feels good when they're friendly back. So don't drop out of society. Say hello, and they don't say hello back. The next person will. And if someone's rude to you in the grocery store, yeah, feel bad for them for a second and just laugh it off. Let's see what people say in the comments. I've noticed people appear to be way more selfish and lack empathy. Yeah, that's true. I'm a lot in the dating sphere, and I make videos about dating, and I think that's the number one problem, really. We're being taught and manipulated into being very self-centered. And it's like the path away from happiness. When you're giving and kind and try to do stuff for people and you do that, your happiness level goes up. It really does. Why is it no one wants to say hi and people are running away and they're not social? They're unhappy. We're all being manipulated into being unhappy. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's true. You got to step back. People seem very stressed, angry, and unfriendly. You gonna do that? They're gonna sell you some stuff. When you've lived through the happiness and connection of the 70s through the 90s and now this, it's just so depressing. Oh gosh. It's true. We're very lucky. I feel lucky almost every day that I grew up in the 80s. And that I grew up in that time period in the 90s. It was fantastic. I guess a lot of people my age feel that way. Like, oh, it's really good. And MacArthur was it's a natural thing to do. So I am not crazy. Others are seeing the rude behavior too. Thank you for this video. Social media has sucked the human socialness out of people. It's, yeah, gosh. Not everybody. There's some hope. Most people lost their minds during the pandemic. Yeah, that was rough. I used to be a people person, then people ruined it. That's pretty funny. I'm happy not being around people. Here's someone from Canada. I held the door for an elderly couple the other day, and the man was so grateful and said, "Sure don't see that anymore." Aw. One gentleman of social media has destroyed society. One generation of social media has destroyed society. Yeah, they're making a ton of money on this destruction. They don't care about you. Put that thing down. Cell phones and social media was our downfall. Oh, people are so angry, and many use their vehicles on the road as weapons to vent. Very dangerous. No manners, no courtesy, and yes, everybody is in a rush to go nowhere. Of course, very bizarre. I think we're all kind of hypnotized. We don't. We, I'm busy. I can't. I don't have time for that. Like in what you've noticed in the culture they're feeding women today, and it's crazy. Like this thing about cooking, like it's the most horrible thing in the world. Like, oh, I'm gonna cook for you. I don't cook, and I'm not gonna cook. And they're trained to be like cooking and laundry. I do laundry. You mean I could stay home and cook and do laundry? Oh God. Doesn't everybody realize how fantastic that is? You don't have to go to work. Yeah, it can be really rough, and you got the HR department, and you're being used to make money, and you don't really believe in what you're doing, and you're waiting for the Friday and the end of the day. Or you could stay home and cook and do laundry. Ah. Why would you get upset about that? It's the greatest thing in the world. I love it. I cooking and having people in the kitchen and hanging around talking and making some food and making a fun dessert. I'm not gonna do, you get all these videos of women like, I don't do this, I don't do that, and I don't do that. Well, what do you do to make a man happy? And why is that a horrible thing? That's what marriage is about. They're in their marriages, like, oh, I'm not gonna. So why are you getting married? It's the world outside is tough, and having someone next to you who's gonna do stuff that people in the world outside aren't gonna do. They're gonna do some special stuff for you, and they're gonna rub you back at night, and they're gonna make you a nice apple pie. Like, all these women they're very upset that they're dating. It's terrible. Did you make a dinner for someone? You wouldn't believe how happy you're going to be. And that other person's going, I can't get anyone to go out with me. I can't get anyone to marry me. Yeah, it's really simple and easy. Everyone. We're kind of all being manipulated into being unhappy. It's a lot simpler. And if you feel the same way, let me know your experience. I think eventually people are going to rediscover how cool it is to be nice to each other and to be really great to my husband or be really great to my wife and do some special things that other people in the outside world aren't going to do for them, because that's really what makes a relationship and marriage really fantastic. I know a lot of us were raised by single parents and they're pissed off at each other and it was a terrible marriage. So you never learn this stuff. Other people were fortunate and had parents who didn't care about gender politics. We all got to do our part. We all got to do our part. If you like to do that, great. And sometimes we do things we don't like to do because it makes the other person happy. And you know what? That's going to make you happy in the end. Call me crazy. Tell me I don't know what I'm talking about in the comments. But that's what I think. And I thank this guy for his video. Everybody check him out. He seems to be hugely popular and he seemed very sincere. So I appreciate that. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to follow more videos I'm doing. It's great to have you aboard. Give it a thumbs up. I appreciate that. And let me know what you're thinking in the comments. And we'll see you in the next video.